Welcome back. So again, we're here this morning with Heather Higgins from the American Cancer Society. Now, the Great American Smokeout is this Thursday, and as part of that, you're also getting the message out into schools.
Yes, we feel it's very important to reach young people because that's when most smokers start smoking. Most of them start at age 18 or before, so we want to reach kids and let them know about the dangers of using tobacco.
Okay, now this statistic that you gave me during the break just shocked me. Tell us about how many 8th graders smoke.
About 8% of 8th graders smoke. And
shocking.
Yes, and it's so surprising. And a lot of times we're asked, why do you target such young kids? And it's because, you know, they're starting to smoke and trying cigarettes for the first time. Nicotine is so addictive that a lot of those kids will, you know, continue to smoke, unfortunately.
Yeah, so with this program, you're actually reaching out to the 5th graders, right?
Yes, we have a curriculum that integrates anti-tobacco messages into every subject area for 5th graders for a week during the week of the Great American Smokeout. And locally, about 28 schools are participating, and we'll be reaching about 3,000 kids this week.
Now, how do you put it in every subject? Because I'm trying to think, okay, like math. How do you incorporate anti-smoking messages into math?
We actually have the kids do addition or multiplication or, you know, whatever they're working on in class to determine if they started smoking and they smoked a pack a day, how much would that cost to smoke over a lifetime, or how many cigarettes would that be? So, you know, getting them to really, you know, do the numbers themselves. And the kids usually say, boy, you know, if I had, you know, $150,000 that I would spend on tobacco, I could do this with. So it really helps the kids, you know, because they learn in a variety of ways how damaging and dangerous tobacco products are.
Yeah, it's so interesting you brought that up because I wanted to say that before. I know somebody who stopped smoking and said that she saved thousands of dollars a year. So that's a really big incentive. I mean, we could all use more money.
It is, and for smokers to quit, I've heard a lot of smokers say, you know, that they have said, well, when they have been, you know, they have stopped smoking for a year, they're going to save all that money and go on a vacation, and that was a motivator for them. So I can see where that would be a great motivator.
That's a really good idea. So by the time kids are in 8th grade, 8%, I still just can't even wrap my head around that. How about high school? What percentage of kids are smoking by high school?
Actually, with high school, it gets even a little bit more upsetting because almost 1 out of 5 high schoolers smoke. So somewhere around 18% of high schoolers smoke. So we want to make sure that we're reducing that number, and that number is getting reduced all the time, but we of course would like to bring that number down to 0 as quickly as possible.
Yeah, how are these kids even getting their hands on the cigarettes? Because I mean, it's not legal.
A lot of the surveys that we've done with kids say that about half of them say other people buy them for them. Some kids say that they go to establishments where, you know, they're able to buy them. So it seems like, you know, if kids really want to, sometimes they are getting their hands on these, but we definitely are supporting, you know, laws to help, you know, keep the kids away from the cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. And even the number of people who smoke in Winnebago County overall is higher than the state average.
It is high. In Winnebago County, about 26% of adults smoke, and in Illinois as a whole, about 17% of adults smoke. So it is much higher in Winnebago County than in the state as a whole.
That's 1 in 4. I'm trying to think. I don't think 1 in 4 of the people that I know smoke, but maybe they do.
Yeah, you know, it's a hard habit to break, and you know, using other tobacco products such as, you know, cigars or smokeless tobacco. It's important for people to understand those are not safer than smoking. You still have the same health risk as you do with smoking cigarettes. So it's very important we always tell the kids, you know, don't think that, you know, if someone tells you that chewing tobacco is safer, you need to know that it's not.
How do these numbers with kids compare to, say, 10 or 20 years ago? Are fewer kids starting to smoke now?
Overall, you know, the trend has been less smoking overall over the years. But of course, we would like to bring it down, you know, even faster. Because the less kids start smoking, the less who will become lifelong smokers and the less who will, you know, unfortunately die from their disease. About a third of youth who begin smoking will die prematurely due to their smoking habits, because they become lifelong smokers. So this is of course very troubling, and a trend that we want to turn around.
So what would you recommend that parents do to try to have some sort of influence over that.
It's important for parents to talk to their kids from a very young age, just like they talk about other habits that they want their kids to either have or not have, and let them know, how they feel about tobacco and their child using tobacco. Parental support is very important. And of course, if you notice that your child seems to be using tobacco products, it's very important for the parents to talk to their kids and offer support and encouragement and help their child quit as quickly as possible, because you don't want them to become a lifelong smoker.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally going to kill them.
It is. Well, and unfortunately, it's such a harmful habit that there's so many diseases, of course, cancer, but heart disease and other diseases that come from tobacco use. It's something that no parent, would want their child to begin.
And not only that, but even secondhand smoke can have a big impact.
It can. We're very happy that the Smoke-Free Illinois law has been in effect now and has been working so well, and there's clean indoor air in public places. But it's something that smokers should also be aware of, that secondhand smoke is still dangerous and deadly for non-smokers as well. So, to limit, the secondhand smoke around their loved ones and families is helpful to their families as well.
Yeah, because you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting all the people around you too.
Yes.
Yeah, here's what I don't understand is how any kid can start smoking with the knowledge we have now, because I know for me, even 15, 20 years ago going through school, they hammered that into us, that smoking is bad and it's unhealthy and you get your lungs turn black and all this stuff. I mean, by the time I was 12, I was so grossed out at the idea, I never would have picked up a cigarette. So how are so many kids falling through the cracks?
It's still a lot of social pressure. Even if kids, some kids, of course, have the peer pressure of other kids saying, try this tobacco, that sort of thing. But other kids just see, other people using tobacco and they think that it's grown up or it's glamorous or, it's something that they want to try when they get older. And unfortunately, tobacco is something that is very difficult for people to try just a few times, because they often get addicted and then they sometimes become lifelong smokers. So we want to let kids know, don't even try tobacco, because the health consequences and the long-term effects of it are not something that you want to deal with the rest of your life. But we do let the kids know, if you have a loved one in your life who's a smoker, smoking is a habit and it's a hard habit to break, and you should support that person in their attempts to quit. People who smoke are not bad people. It's just a hard habit to quit.
Yeah. It's easy as a non-smoker to say like, oh, I wish they would all just stop smoking. But then I think about my friends and my loved ones who smoke, and it's like, I really no. I mean, they're great people. Like, it's just a bad, really unhealthy habit, and it's so sad to watch it happen.
It is, and that's why they need the support of their loved ones, and they need to know that there are resources out there that can help them when they're ready to quit.
What advice would you have for kids or maybe teenagers when their friends do offer them something? You know what I mean? How do you get out of that without being a dork? You know what I mean?
Well, the most important thing is for kids just to know going into any situation, that's not something that they're going to do.
Yeah.
And for them to feel really, strong in their convictions that smoking is not for them, and to know that, that if people, care about them, they're not going to want them to smoke. So, these are important things for kids to know. That's why it's so important for parents and teachers and the community at large to support kids when they're young and let them know that this is not a good habit to start, so that kids, by the time they are offered cigarettes or get in a situation where they might try them, they already know that that's not something they want to do.
Right, because it's such a hard situation to be in, because when you're 14, there's nothing in the world worse than being uncool. You don't want to look bad, so how do you get out of that?
Well, some of the tips that we give kids are, of course, to just say no, that's not something I'm interested in. We sometimes tell kids, redirect the activity if that's what kids are doing around you. And
what does that mean, redirect the activity?
If kids are sitting around smoking, and you don't want to smoke, you can say, hey, do you want to go play basketball? Hey, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to do something, else that would get them out of that situation?
That's really smart. No one ever told me that growing up.
Yeah, it's definitely a good strategy kids can use. Of course, if they're still pressured and they're in that situation, ultimately, we want them to leave the situation and not get engaged in that. But those are some, strategies that they can try where they can still, feel like they can participate, but they don't have to smoke in order to be cool or to be with their group of friends.
I like that one. So just distract them, do something else.
Yes.
Well, we are out of time, but we want to put the information up on your screen one more time because the Great American Smokeout is this Thursday.
Yes.
And what's the website and the phone number people need to go to for more information?
If they can call the American Cancer Society at 1-800-227-2345. They can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week and get support to quit. And also the website is cancer.org, and there's quit tips and all kinds of resources to help.
Great. Heather, thank you so much, and we'll have all this information for you again right after the break.